Hello all, welcome to Selenium Python Training Series. In this session, I am going to show you how to use Git, GitHub and Jenkins together. So let's get started. First, I'll explain what is the purpose of using this Git and GitHub. Okay, already you know what is the purpose of Jenkins with the local project automation code. We have done that in the previous session. Now, it's not about local automation code anymore. After the Git and GitHub steps in, the automation code is not going to be there in your local machine. Rather, it's going to be centralized. All these details I'm going to cover in this session. So let's get started with this session. And firstly, I'm going to explain why Git and GitHub. Why we have to use this Git and GitHub is something I'm going to cover first. Okay, why Git and GitHub? You see, in real time, what happens is in a single project. Let's say this is a project you're working, and here in this project there are a lot of people or employees. Okay, let's say these are all the different automation engineers. Okay, and there is no one person in this project. There are multiple people writing some Selenium automation scripts or whatever the automation scripts. Now there are different people. So every person here has their own laptop, right? Local machine, you can say, has their own laptop or local machine where they are writing the automation scripts. But finally, if they are working on a single project, they cannot put all their code in their own local machine, right? How they will share their code? Okay, this person has to whatever the code which is created or written by this person need to be shared with other person. Okay, so together there should be one single repository or centralized place where all this code written by all these different people in the project should stay at a single location, right? They cannot keep them. If they keep them in their local machines, you see, it's not entire project, right? That doesn't contribute to the entire project. Okay, they have to put all their automation scripts together at a centralized location. So whatever the project related code that need to be centralized at a single location. So if they centralize here, for example, this one they want to centralize. So after this person writes the code, this person puts the code here. This person also will put the code here. In real time, we have to do like this only. Okay, everyone will not put their or keep their code in their local machines. Rather, everyone working on a same project will, update their code at a centralized place. Fine, this is good. Now, this centralized place need to be managed well, right? Because a lot of people who are working on the project are putting their code here, means there's a possibility of conflicts and a lot of other stuff. Okay, the code need to be centralized. So, and that need to be managed well. So how that is possible? These days we have something like GitHub. Okay, GitHub. You see, instead of putting the centralized thing on a separate machine and everyone pushing the code, right? We have something like GitHub, which is nothing but cloud. Cloud means internet. Okay, on the internet. Okay, like Google Drive. Okay, let's say 2 or 3 people have access to the same Google Drive. How they will share the files within each other? How they will upload the files into a single folder and all. Same way, all these people will upload their code into a cloud repo that is on the internet, like Google Drive kind of repo, right? Cloud repo, they will push their code in a centralized fashion. And this GitHub not only allows them to upload their code into this cloud repo, which is available on the internet, but also will track all the stuff. Okay, it will allow you to create different repositories and for every small change. For example, tomorrow this person again modifies the code and uploads the code here. This tracking of these changes, everything will be done here. The discussions can be done. Okay, like social media sites, you can do discussions on each and every item changes and all those stuff. So we'll soonly see that what is the GitHub. Okay, in real time we use GitHub. Okay, a separate software which is like a cloud repository or cloud kind of software. Okay, so that everyone can put their code. Okay, the centralized code is now on the internet. Cloud means internet. So this is what is real time. But how to upload the code? For example, tomorrow a new person joins the team. Okay, apart from these 5 automation engineers, a new fresh automation engineers join the project. This particular person also has a local machine, but in that local machine there is no automation code. So this person don't have to start from scratch, right? Again, whatever that is built by these 5 people don't have to be built by this person. So what this person will do is, this person will download this code. into the local machine. Okay, whatever the code that is ready before working, right, this person will download the code into the local machine and start working. And once some code is written by this person and ready to upload, the person will upload it back. So here there is a process of uploading and downloading the code. Okay, uploading the code, then downloading the code, depending on the requirements and all. How this uploading and downloading is done? For this person to upload the code and download the code or all these operations, we have to use something known as Git. Okay, here comes Git. GitHub is a cloud repository, okay, centralized cloud repository, whereas the communication between this local machine in and this GitHub cloud repository in uploading and downloading and all those operations can be done with the help of Git. Okay, there are some commands in Git. We generally call them as Git commands, using which this process is possible. I am going to show you all this stuff practically, okay? With the help of Git commands, there are separate commands for downloading, uploading, and all those stuff. With the help of these different commands, based on the situations and all, we have to use a particular command and either upload the code or download the code, okay? So this is what happens in real time ways, okay? In real time, people work like this. They will not keep their automation code written by them in their own local machines. Rather, they will share with everyone by uploading them into a centralized repository, which is on the cloud, not on its other server machine or so. It is on the cloud. Okay. So we that is one of the example of this cloud repositories available on the internet is GitHub. There are other stuff also. Okay. So other things, alternatives to GitHub, but GitHub is kind of famous in the market. And you see, to bridge the gap or communication between these local machines and this GitHub cloud repos in uploading and downloading the code and performing many operations, we have to install a software known as Git. And after installing this Git software in the local machines, okay, from where we need to upload and download the code into, then we have to trigger the commands. Okay, so I'm going to show you everything. Okay, all the softwares involved in this process, I'm going to show you completely. So first, we have now understood why Git and GitHub. Okay, that is very important. Okay, why Git and GitHub is now clear for you, right? So now let's go into the practical mode. So whatever I covered here in this diagram, right, that I'm going to make it practical. So first, we have to create a GitHub repo. Okay, in order to upload into the cloud repository, right? GitHub repo we have to create. So for that, if you are new to GitHub, it will look something like this. Okay, new incognito mode. I'll say GitHub github.com. Just browse github.com. You will be taken to the website page of this github.com. And here you will see an option like sign up. Just click on that. If you are new to GitHub, just click on sign up. And here it will ask you to, give your email address, enter your name and all those stuff to sign up and all. I have already done this. Okay. I already have an account. So I don't have to do this. But if you are the new, right, you have to click on sign up and register with the GitHub. Okay. Since I already have the account and I already, if I sign in, right, with my credentials and all, so I'll be taken to this home page. And after going there, here is my profile icon. Okay. And signed in as my name. So here there is an option like your repository. Select that. Whatever the repositories I have created so far in this GitHub repo will be available here. You see, Cucumber Hybrid Framework. All these are, you see, all my repositories here. A new repository I'll create now. I'll show you how to create new repository. If you are, you have signed up just now, you will not see any of these repositories. It will be blank. See, because I'm using this GitHub from long time, there are 31 repositories. So far, when I'm recording this session, right, there are 31 repositories and keep creating the repositories. Okay. You can create any number of repositories in this GitHub account. Fine. How to create the GitHub repository? I told you, right? Just click on this and go to the your repositories and you'll be taken to this and you'll see a new option here. The previous repository that I created, updated on March 7th is this one. And now I'm going to create another repository. Click on this new option and here I have to give the repository name. So I'll just give that as Selenium Python hybrid page object model framework. Okay, like this, I'll give some name. So the project having this framework that is there in my machine, I want to put that on the cloud repository. So this is the name I'm giving. So there are two options here. One is, public and another one is private. Okay. So public is kind of free. Okay. If you are okay that you are, whatever the code you are uploading onto the GitHub cloud repo is fine, that it is open to everyone, anyone who is accessing my GitHub repos can download. Okay, they can openly access because my GitHub account is free account. I'm not a paid user. Okay, I'm not paying any license amount to restrict that. Okay, I'm not paying any license amount to restrict that. Fine. So, uh, so there are two options here. One is public, means anyone on the internet can see this repository and they can choose, they can download my code and they can use it. Okay, I'm okay for that. Okay, I'm okay to share my code with everyone. And other option is private. This is especially when you're working in projects, right? The client is very keen that the project automation code should not be shared outside the company, right? Only the people who are working in the project should have the access. So in that case, they have to make it private. They cannot go with the public. Okay, since I'm okay because I'm not troubled with my code being shared with anyone, so I'm okay with the public. I'm even okay with the people downloading my repos and all those stuff. I even share this repo links here and there. That's fine. But in companies, when you are working in real-time projects, right, no code or no information about the project should be shared outside. So that's the reason they will take a private account. Okay, so for private account, they have to pay some license amount. Only the people who have the login credentials for this GitHub, right? And given the access to that private account, private kind of thing, right? They only can access the code, but other people cannot access the code. Okay. So let's keep it public for now. I'm okay with public. Public is free also. Private is not free. Okay. So you got the idea, right? Which is why public and private and all those stuff. And here you see, when I simply click on create repository, right, an empty repository will be created. Instead of creating an empty repository, just for sample, I would like to add a README file. Okay, instead of creating a blank repository, I just like to add a README file. Okay, at least one file will be there. Okay, instead of a blank. Now, if I click on create repository, a repository will be created with the this is a repo name and all. And here you see only one file is there. Okay, there is one file, and whatever while creating the repository, only one commit is done. Okay, you see, initial committed now, just now. Okay, so like that. These are the tracking and all those things will be there. So this is initial commit. This is a file. Okay, instead of having an empty repository, we have this. I selected to have this readme file. Okay, now this is a repository I have created on the GitHub. Now the next software I told you in this explanation is to bridge the communication between this local machine and this cloud GitHub cloud repo that I have just now created, right? To create the connection between this repo and my local machines thing, we need this Git software. Then I have to show you how to download and install that Git software. It's very simple. So just go to any Chrome browser and then say Git download and press enter. You see, we'll get this Git downloads. Click on that. Once you click on that, you will get this Windows. Click on that Windows and download for Windows will come. Click here to download the latest version for Git. Click here. Okay. The Git software will be downloaded in a while for you. You see, this is a Git software that is getting downloaded. Once the Git software is downloaded, you can double click and install that. Got downloaded, showing the location where it got downloaded. This is a Git software. You see, this is a Git software. Earlier also have downloaded. So this is the latest one which I have just now downloaded before you. Just double click on this and install that. Okay. Just double click on this exe file for, and you'll get, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Yes. Say yes. Now you got this license agreement and all. Click on next. In this location in your machine, it will be created. Okay, so you see, I already have maybe in the previous instances and I'll just say yes, no problem. Click on next, click on next, click on next, click on next. Here you see Git from the command line and also from third-party software recommended. Just go with the recommended, no need to worry much. Click on next, don't change any options here. Just keep clicking next. You don't have to think much. Once you get the exe file, just keep clicking next and it will be installed in your machine. The Git software will be installed in your machine. So let's wait for the Git software to get installed in our machine. We have downloaded it and we are also installing the Git software as part of this step. After that, what we have to do, I'm going to show you. So GitHub, I showed you what is the purpose and explained about Git and GitHub. Now we have created some cloud repository, a centralized repository where we are going to where everyone is in working in the same project are going to push their code into a centralized cloud repo that we have just now created on the GitHub. This cloud repo, and after that we are now installing the Git software using which we can download and upload the code from our local machine into the GitHub cloud repo kind of stuff. So let's wait until this is done. Okay, it's going on. Just wait for it to be completed. It got installed now. Git software got installed. Okay, so I don't want to say anything. Just click on finish, and if you type Git here, you'll get the software visible here. Just type Git and search. You see, if you get this Git GUI and Git Bash apps, that means Git has been successfully installed. We are going to use Git Bash. This particular app we are going to use. Okay. Now let's follow the steps. Now what we have to do next is we have to create a local folder in your in our system. So here, this GitHub is a cloud repo, right? Whatever that we have created on the GitHub website is a cloud repo. So we have to create a local repo in our machine to communicate between this cloud repo and our code in our local machine, right? In our machine, we have to create a folder. Okay, we have to create a folder. I'll show you how to create that. So go to one location. Any location in your machine, you just go where you're comfortable in creating some local repos there. So here already some local repos are there, you see. So some other repos are there and all. So what I will do here is I'll just delete that and freshly show you how to create that and all. Okay, I'll delete this local repos and freshly I'll create a new local repo. I'll say new folder, say local repos. You can give any name. For repos, you can give local repos. You can give any name you can give to this folder. Go inside this folder. Now right click here and say show more options. After you have installed Git, right, you'll get this Git bash here. Git bash here option. Select that. You will see a similar kind of command prompt kind of thing comes here, but this is not command prompt. This is Git bash. Okay, this kind of stuff will appear, which is currently there, which is currently open at this location. You see, Firefox local repos at this location it got opened. Now here, I have to run some commands. Okay, I have created a local folder in my machine, and now I have to initialize that Git folder as local Git repository. So I have to simply run this command. Okay, so Git command. These are Git commands. After you install Git software, right, from the Git bash, which comes with the software, you can run some commands. There are different Git commands for different purposes. So at this moment, if before I run this Git init command, init means initialization. You see, in this local repos folder, there is no hidden folder visible. But after you run the command Git init command, it will be initialized as a Git repo kind of stuff, local repo. Okay, Git local repo. You see, the moment I have run the command, it created a .git file. Under this folder, it created .git file. Okay, that's the number one thing. Git will be created to confirm this. Now register yourself with Git. Now Git, this particular Git need to communicate with the GitHub and inform that. So this is a person. Okay, this is a person who is doing some changes to the code or uploading the code or downloading. Every activity will be tracked. So for that, we have some commands. We have to, break the ice with this Git and inform that my name is this, my email address is this as a communication, initial communication point of view. These are the commands. You have to write Git config. You can see the commands here. --, global, user dot name, give the name. So in your machine, you are giving your name as my name is Arun, so I'm giving that. In other machine, other employee, that person will communicate, will inform that username and email address, that person's username and email address, that person will enter. Okay. So after this is done, now type git config --, global, user dot email and give the email address. I'll just give my email address. So I'm just saying to give that this is the person I am. Whatever the Git commands I'm typing here, I am typing. Okay. Who is typing? Arun is typing. Like, okay. So fine. After that is done, now next step is clone the GitHub repo to the local repo. Okay. First, whatever the cloud repo that is created on the GitHub, right? That same copy we have to get into our local repo. Okay. That's the next step. How to get that? So here you can see something. Okay, so where is that? So this is the command we have to write, git clone. Just type this command first of all anyhow, git clone, and we have to give that git URL of that particular repository. This is a repository and there is a code option here. You see there is a GitHub repo link. Okay, copy this and right click here and paste it here. Okay. So git clone, I want to clone this cloud repo. I want to clone this cloud repo, okay, into my local repo. Press enter. Once I do that, if you open that local repo, you will see the cloud repo folder coming here. You see whatever the name I have given to the cloud repo, Selenium Python Hybrid Page Object Model Framework is being created as a local repo. In this local repos, this is one of the local repo, okay? So I have to go inside this folder. And see that in that folder, whatever the single file that is there in the cloud repo, right? That is the README file as a sample I created, right? That is there in my local repo now, along with the .git folder. Now close this. Git bash. Now close this git bash, and okay. So then close the git bash, and once you go inside the clone project folder, here, whatever the folder that came, right, we went inside that folder, and in that, right click again and select show more options and git bash here. Open the git bash again here. Previous git bash we closed, and once we go inside the cloned repository in our local machine, after going there, again we have right clicked and okay, so open the git bash there, and you can see here, this is a location. Here Fox local repo Selenium Python hybrid page object model framework came. Fine, that's good. Then fine, go inside the clone project folder, git bash here. So then next, what is next? Okay, copy all the project files to the. So now the thing is the cloning is done. Okay, initial step is called as cloning. Okay, freshly you're dumping whatever that is on the cloud repo with the help of this command that I have typed, git clone kind of stuff, which I've done. Okay, so git clone and GitHub repo URL, that is done. Now the next thing is whatever the project code is there, I would like to upload onto the cloud repo. At this moment in the cloud repo, only this README file is there, but I want to upload my project code. This is all my project code that I want to upload onto the cloud repo. Okay, how to do that? For that, you have to copy all the project files to the local Git repo folder. That is, open this PyCharm ID where you have this project, right click here and select open in Explorer. After that, go inside this folder and you have all these files, folders and files are there. Copy all this and go to your local repo, and where only README file is there, here I'm going to paste. Once I paste everything here, the complete project will be available. But it is there in my local repo. Okay, it's there in my local repo. So let's wait. Done. Once all these files and folders of my project are available here, now I have to upload this onto the cloud repo. How that is possible? Already we have said git bash here, and this is the location. And now this local repo is connected with the main here. You see main branch is there. In the main branch, it is already connected in the cloud repo. So now, after copying all my I have to run some Git commands. So I'll say Git status. Okay. When I say Git status here, it will find out the difference between my local repo things and my cloud repo. In the cloud repo, you see only README file is there, but in my local repo, there are a lot of new stuff, right? There are a lot of new stuffs here. Sorry, this is not the one. Let me close this. This is a local repo. Apart from README file, we have all these files and folders which need to be uploaded onto the cloud repo. So to find the difference between the local repo things and cloud repo things, say Git status. These are all the things. You see, this is a folder idea and Excel files, then reports, pages, tests, utilities, everything is there, right? Whatever that is there, that is there. Now to add everything at a go, okay, to the staging area. Okay, there's something known as staging area, guys. Okay, directly these things will not go directly onto the cloud repo. There are some phases. Okay, from here in my local machine, they'll first go to which area? They'll go to the staging area. I'll show you here. So they are in my local machine. In my local machine, once I type some command, right? Okay, there's one command here. You can say git add dot. Dot means all files. Okay, you can add even one file also. In place of the dot, you provide the name and extension of the file that will be added. But if I say add dot means all these files which are kind of different, which are not there on my cloud repo, which got detected here, will be added. Okay, so here one command here I'm talking about is git add dot. This will add all my files in that particular folder on my local machine onto the staging area. Okay, there's something known as staging area. You don't have to break your head here. Just imagine that there is one kind of virtual area, that is staging area, where your files are moved from your folder to that particular area. After my files are moved to the staging area, I'll do that. Git add dot. Now they are being moved onto the staging. Okay, the staging copy is being created. Now say git status. You see all the green things. Green things means they are in the staging area. All these files that I wanted to upload, right? They are moved to the staging area. Okay, done. So after this is done, once the files are moved onto the staging area, then I need to commit. You see, before you upload, it's asking you to commit. Okay, so next state is committed state. Okay, once you commit, right, it's actually ready to get uploaded. In the next phase, right, you can push the code. Okay, so there's one more check after the project project files and folders got moved into the staging area. The next step is that we have to confirm, okay, whatever the files that are that in my staging area, can I upload them? Are they ready to get uploaded into the cloud repository, GitHub cloud repository or not? For that, we have to run this command. Okay, so without committing, we cannot directly push the code into the cloud repo from the staging area. So rather, we have to commit here and we have to write the reason, what changes you have done and all. Okay, so that whatever the changes you have done, right, that will be tracked with the same message. I'll show you. Yeah, the next thing is I have to write git commit. All these changes which are there in the staging area now need to be committed. Git commit -m, git commit -m, and give in double quotes, give the message. Okay. Framework, initial framework code for login register. Only this test we have automated. If you remember in the hybrid framework, right? These are three functionalities we have automated, right? So all this automation tests, initial framework code containing, otherwise just go back here. I think it's gone. Let me type it again. Git commit -m initial hybrid framework along with automation scripts for login, register, and login, register, and search. Press enter. The committing will be done. Is there any mistake I have done? Okay, here double quote. Here double quote I gave. Here single quote I gave. That's a mistake. Okay, let me do it again. Sorry. Here there is a mistake here. That is I mentioned single quote there. The double quote after that I have to end with double quote, right? So there's a mistake. Press enter. You see it's being committed. Now type git status. Those green color stuff should not come. The files are no more in the staging area. Okay. It's simply saying that now you are ready to push the code. Okay. Just run this command git push to push your code. Okay. As you committed it, now you are ready to move your code from your local machine, local git repo to the cloud repository. Okay. Still, you see, if you see here, there is no files available here. Refresh also, you see, and no files still uploaded from our local machine to the cloud repo. So what I will do next is I'll simply run the last command for uploading my code. That is git push origin branch name. Branch is main right here. Whatever that is coming, you just provide that here. Origin from my local machine to the cloud repo. Okay, press enter. The code will now get uploaded. You can see that into the cloud repo. The code will get uploaded. You see, it's 100% done. Now go here to the cloud repo and refresh here. You will see all the folders and files of the project are available here. Complete framework code is now uploaded onto the cloud repo. This is how we can download and upload. And there are many other stuff. I don't want to go deep, but these are the major ones, okay, but that we come across. GitHub kind of stuff, okay. With the help of Git commands, we can interact with the GitHub repo and cloud repo, and we can exchange the commands to download and upload the code. So then there are other commands also in Git, like git pull and all, okay, to update your local machine code, right? The other commands, but let's not deviate. Here, the session is all about how to upload and download the code with GitHub and what is the purpose of using Git and GitHub in a realistic way I'm covering here. Now, the next thing is, now my code is not only available on my local machine. So earlier, if you remember in the previous session, I have run the automation code which is there in my local machine with the help of Jenkins, but here automation code is in my local machine. The problem with that is, if the automation code is in my local machine, I have to keep my laptop open. If at night 2 o'clock, if I have to run my automation scripts, I have to keep my laptop open till night 2 o'clock, right? So I cannot turn off my machine. But that's not the case with GitHub Cloud Repo because code is open. 24/7 the code is available here. I can close my laptop still at this URL. The code is available, right? So that's another benefit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this Jenkins run the automation script not from my local local project and all in my local machine. Rather, I would like to create a job in Jenkins in such a way that it's going to pick the automation code from this cloud repository, which is open and available 24/7 for us. Okay. So running the code from the GitHub repository, GitHub cloud repository using Jenkins. Okay. How to do that and all. So for that, we have to launch Jenkins. Already we have installed. As part of this session, I showed you how to download and install Jenkins. Since Jenkins is already installed, it's not a big deal. Now go to the downloads where that file, this earlier we have downloaded this jenkins.var, right? The file is still needed. Go to the location. It may be copied anywhere in your machine. That place you go. And here in that folder location, just type cmd and press enter. And the command prompt will open at this location where this file, Jenkins war file is available. Now type the same command java-jar. The file name is jenkins.war and press enter. So this time it's not going to install, but it's going to run the Jenkins. Okay, the same command which was earlier used for installing, since Jenkins is already installed, it will up the Jenkins and run it. Okay, so let's wait until all these messages are displayed. At the end, it will display that Jenkins is up and running kind of thing. Until then, we have to wait. Let's wait for that message to appear. After the Jenkins is up only, we can access Jenkins, guys. Otherwise, and you should not be closing this command prompt. Okay, till your usage with the Jenkins is done, you should not be closing this command prompt. Okay, so at the end, it has to say that Jenkins is fully up and running. You see, once you get this message, you are good to go. Jenkins is fully up and running. Installation is not required again. It's already done as previously in the previous session. So here, I'll open another instance of this browser, new window. And I'll access Jenkins will be running at localhost, as you already know, 8080 port number. Give that localhost colon 8080. So you should not be closing this command prompt, otherwise you'll not be able to access Jenkins here. So let the Jenkins launch. Yeah, when I created Jenkins in the previous session, right, I gave the username as Arun Motori and password as a second as a password. Click on sign in. This admin account I created at that time in Jenkins, the previous session. Since I remember this, I can, I can log in. Once I log into Jenkins, again, the same job dashboard will come here. Already one job we have created. This job is picking my code from my local machine. But again, you see, I'm going to create another job this time where I'm going to configure this Jenkins job in such a way that it is not going to pick the code from my local machine. Rather, it's going to pick the code from my GitHub cloud repo, which is kind of open 24 by 7. But my local machine will not be accessible after some time. Okay, after night, right? After if it is late, it will not be accessible. I will turn off my machine. Okay, so it's better that we can access Jenkins can access the code from the cloud repo, which is available 24 by 7. So here I'll say uh, Selenium Python framework form GitHub cloud repo job. Okay, something I'm just giving some relevant names here. Okay, just to differentiate this one from the previous job. Select this freestyle project and say okay. Selenium Python framework form GitHub cloud repo job, something like that. Something a different name I gave. You can give any name. That's okay. This is the name I'm giving. It will take you to the configurations directly where you have to configure this Jenkins job and give instructions in such a way that Jenkins is going to run the code from the cloud repo rather from our local machine. So here, after going to the configurations under the general, you don't have to do anything here in the general. Ignore everything from this general section. Now there is one more section like source code management. Click this if you want. Or you can scroll here also, that will automatically change the sections. And source code management, earlier it was none because the code automation code was there in my local machine. At the time it was none. But now I'll change it to Git. And here I have to give the repository URL. Okay, here I have to give the repository. What is the repository URL I have to give? Okay. So source code management Git, and now GitHub repo URL I have to give. Okay, what is a GitHub repo URL? If I go to this is a GitHub repo URL. Okay, this part. Copy this. Okay, where this once you go to this one of the repository, right? Once you are at the repository, inside the repository, when you are copy this URL of the page and come back here and paste it here. This is the repository URL. Done. After that is done. So credentials, Jenkins. I think this is required or not. I don't remember. Let's see. Don't think this is required. Once you give the repository. Okay. Give the username and password for that GitHub thing. For GitHub, I have the okay. I'll pause the recording and I'll give the credentials of the GitHub and say okay because I don't want you guys to see my GitHub credentials. So I'll just enter my GitHub related username and password here. Fine. Let me pause the. I have added my GitHub credentials there, and now I can select this. Okay, this credentials. That is also done. Now here, next item is branches to build, and here we have master. In place of master, but here our GitHub repo is having not master, it's having main. So instead of master, give main. Okay. So if master is there here, master branch is there, give master only. If main branch is there where your cloud repo files are available, give main. Okay. Now, excuse me. Then next item, you have to go to build. Just go to the build section, build, and here, where is build actually? This is not the build. Add build step. Okay, here build steps you have to go. And under the build steps, you have to select custom Python builder. Custom Python builder. Now in that field, the custom Python builder, first you have to give this home thing as the location where this python.exe file is available in your machine. I'll take you to the location. So we have to go to the C drive, users, and username folder, active username folder. Inside that, we have to go into app data. Just go and find app data, which is a hidden folder. If it's not visible, you can enable that option to show the hidden files, and you'll find that app data. Go inside that. After going in there, we have to go for local programs. Local, then go for programs. Type P, you will find it. Programs. Inside the local programs, go for Python. In that Python version, and in that folder, you will see this python.exe file, right? You have to give till there, okay? Till Python. First copy this anyhow, and come back here and paste it, and say python.exe, okay? This is what you have to give, custom Python builder. Then say, keep this as it is, and in the commands, we have to run a lot of commands this time. So what are the different commands we have to run? I'll show you. So type all these commands one by one, okay? First one, we have to create this virtual environment because now it's on the cloud repo, right? We don't have this, you see in this local machine, the local code has this virtual environment here, but the same virtual environment that is there in this project need to be created on the cloud repo. To get it created, this is a command we have to type. That's Python space -m space venv space env. This is the first command. After this, as a bunch of commands I'll type here. One by one, they will be executed in the during the running with the help of Jenkins. When you run from the cloud repo, right, they will be done. All these commands will run one by one. Okay, Jenkins will run them. Call. Next one is call dot slash venv. Once this virtual environment is created, this is a location we have to give. Where to find scripts, then activate dot, make sure there is no spelling mistake and all bat. Okay, this is the next command dot venv scripts activate dot bat. After that, next is we have to install all these things. Now, since we are taking these files from the cloud repo, it's better to install it on the virtual environment. Okay, so we are not accessing the code from local machine where all these things are already installed in our machine, but this is from the cloud repo, so we have to install now. In that, we have to create a virtual environment. In that, we are installing it so that the scripts will run. So we have to say pip install Selenium, pip install PyTest. I'll copy this instead of wasting your time. These commands you already know from the previous sessions. Pip install Selenium is there. This pip install PyTest is there. Okay, this project requires all these things to be packages to be installed. Then pip install OpenPyXL, pip install Allure PyTest. Then after that, finally, this is a command that need to be run, PyTest -- Allure reports, okay, to generate the Allure reports. So these are the different things you can cross check here. These are the different things should be typed into this command. Now, finally, say add post build action and say Allure report. And here, give the folder name that is reports folder. Under reports folder, the Allure reports will be there. And that's it. We are done. Simply say save. They will be saved. The job is created. Okay, the job is created. You see, this is a job. Till now, no runs are there. What next we have to do? After this is done, this is done. Okay, so we have to run Jenkins to see whether it is running our automation scripts or not. So simply say build now, or you can go to the dashboard where our earlier job is. This is the earlier job. This is the latest job. Okay, select this and you can build now from, or you can click on this and go to that page and build now. Anything is fine. There are multiple places from you can build now. Click on build now. This time you can close this PyCharm ID. It's not required to it's not accessing the code from my local machine. Exit, I'll see. You see it's running. The build is running. The code is now accessible from the cloud repo, that is GitHub cloud repo, not from my local machine. That's the difference. Let's see whether the scripts are running or not. Just to see what's going on, just click on this one. You will be taken to this page and say console output, where you can see the output, what's going on and all. You see this command is now running. Python -env is going on. You can see the progress here. The virtual environment need to be created. Okay. Whatever the commands we have given in that Jenkins job instructions, right? That commands are being run here. Let's wait for this to be completed. It will take a while, guys. We have to be patient here. Yeah. Next few commands are being running one by one, as you can see. OpenPy, Excel, and all the stuff. So, yeah. Allure PyTest is now installing. Finally, the PyTest command to run our automation scripts is now getting executed. You see all the 13 automation scripts should run, and intentionally one will fail, okay? Because in that particular framework I uploaded onto the GitHub cloud repo, right? One test is going to fail for sure, okay? Intentionally that will fail. Don't worry if it is job is failing. Remaining 12 automation scripts are going to pass. Only one test will fail in this 13 tests. You see everything is working fine. We are able to run our automation script from the cloud repo, not from our local machine. This is available 24/7. Okay, the code is available for Jenkins 24/7 because the code is now not there in our local machines, rather it is on the cloud repo. Let them run. So it will take a while for all the 13 tests to run, but that's okay. Anyhow, we are at the ending. So finally, one more thing should happen, that is Allure report should be generated for us. Okay. So Allure report also should be there. We'll see at the end, right? At the end, we'll see whether the Allure report is created properly or not. Okay. And everything is intact or not. By checking that Allure report, we can do that. All the settings for Allure report I covered in the previous session. Okay. The configurations for Allure report in the Jenkins is already done in the as part of the previous session. Only the change here is the code is now not accessed by Jenkins from our local machine. Rather, the code is picked by Jenkins, or Jenkins is running the code from the code that is there on the cloud repo. Okay, GitHub cloud repo. 46% completed, remaining 54% need to be completed now. Let's see and watch. Let all the scripts run. So with this, guys, we'll be done. Okay, this session is done. We'll be done with Git, GitHub, and Jenkins part. I covered everything about Git, GitHub, and Jenkins. Okay, in these sessions, the previous session and current session, right? All the things about Git, GitHub, and Jenkins are covered. So this module will be completed with this session. If everything goes well, we are good. So where we are, scripts are running now. Let's see. Okay. Still register tests are running. Login test completed. Register related tests, the project automation code are running now. And at the end, we'll see that report. Okay, let's wait for the scripts to complete. Intentionally, I'm failing one of the tests in the search test, right? One test will be last test in the search test is going to fail. Okay. So that you have to keep in mind, because to see whether we are getting the screenshot for the field test in the reports, Allure reports and all, I kept that as it is. Okay, I didn't modify that. So from the long time, we are failing that particular test. Okay. I think this is the last test in the search test. In the register test. Now search test will start. 76 completed. I think it will Just 24% is left out. It will be completed in a while, no matter. Okay, less time it will be completed. Let's see, 3 more tests. Okay, first test is running, completed. Second such test is running. Almost there. Switch. This is also come. Okay, last test, I guess. After that, we can see the output, okay, in the reports and all. This test is going to fail. Intentionally, I'm failing this test by putting some wrong expected thing, okay, there. So this test is going to fail. Not visually see that, but in the reports we can see. And in the failed test in the report, we also will get a screenshot also, okay. Screenshot should also be there. Just going to click on button. Yeah, done. Completed, 100% completed. Last one got failed, you see, as I mentioned, right? One failed test will be there, expected. 12, remaining 12 got passed. Now what it is doing here, let's see. Okay. Allure report and all it's creating, it seems. It's generating the Allure report for us. Since one of the tests in this 13 test got failed, it has marking the build as failure. That's okay. It's not a Allure report was successfully generated. It was generated here. So way to find finished. So we can go here to the #1 and we can have this Allure report open from here. There are multiple places from where you can open the Allure report. This is one place. You see this one failed and remaining 12 got passed. Click on this. Go to the parser test. Data-driven testing is also done with different credentials. You see these 3 are the data-driven tests. Go to one of the parser tests. You'll not see any screenshot, but there is a test search. There's one test which got failed. Third one. For that, here we should get a screenshot. If screenshot is there, means everything is working fine. Okay. We got the Allure report now. Properly generated. Right? Go back. Just I'm going to the Jenkins, go to the dashboard. So this job got failed because of that single test which got failed. And it, okay, fine. So you can click on this to see the jobs here. And you can open the Allure report again. If you want to open the Allure report, share with your team and all, right? You can click here and you will get this URL. You share this URL with your team members and you will get the Allure report. Okay. So successfully completed. This session is successfully completed where I showed you the 3 things working together. There is Git, GitHub, and Jenkins. Okay, you already know the purpose of Jenkins earlier. The previous session I explained. In the current session, I explained the purpose of Git, GitHub, and along with that, how to use Jenkins to run the code which is on the cloud rather than invoking the code which is in your local machine is covered in this session. So this is all for this session. So that's all for this session. Thank you. Bye-bye.